Determined to succeed in a world that was against me, I was no stranger to adversity. Born in poverty and barely getting by each month, I was the first in my family to hold down a job and help alleviate my parents' financial stress. But it wasn't enough. No matter how hard I worked, I was far too young to make a difference. But I tried. That was what mattered. My parents reminded me of that every day, and it only determined me to try harder. I grew and became stronger, both mentally and physically. I had to protect myself in a world that always seemed so against me. And along the way, I lost a part of myself. Because when doing it the clean way stopped working, I had no other choice but to turn to the dark side. I hated myself for doing so, but it wasn't really something I could change. That's when I met Kelvin. He was pretty stupid, to be blunt, a little goofy and far too serious to make it in this world. But he was so different from me. It was like we were from two different worlds. Kelvin was a trust fund baby gone rogue. It was almost laughable to think about how he had everything and threw it away just because. It made me wish that luxury was something I could have had in my life. But I didn't hate him for it. I respected him. He had everything, but was fine with having nothing if it meant being himself. Somehow the two of us became friends. I wasn't sure how that happened. I never had many of those. But then we got caught. This was more than just petty crime, and both of us were aware just how serious the charges would be if we went through. That's why we were surprised when we were offered a choice. Join an agency or be sent to prison. It was a no-brainer, but a curious thing to be offered. It became clear to me that this agency wasn't normal, and the things they were doing were very dangerous. But that's why I was there. If I died on the job, it would be fine. I was a criminal after all. It made me scoff to think about how expendable I was in their eyes, as if I and the people around me didn't matter. The mist. That's what they were hunting. Supposedly it was an entity that consumed people whole, leaving no trace of their existence. It sounded a little far-fetched to me, but I was in no place to go against their wishes. I was one of their most prominent field agents, always investigating the scene where they thought the mist may strike next. I never believed it to be true until the explosion happened. It all happened so fast that even now I can't recall the details to it. All I remember is a big burst of fire, followed by the screams of everyone who had been at the scene. That's when I saw it. It flooded in like an ocean, and the last thing I could remember was blinking and watching a man disappear right in front of me. It was horrifying. I had never felt more grateful to be alive as I returned to the agency, reporting my findings. The group worked extra hard to try and see if they could make the mist appear again, to no avail. It was so random and hard to pin down. It seemed impossible. But then, it took him, one of the only people I could call my friends. Kelvin was gone. The rift had opened overnight and taken him while he was alone. It had closed before anybody else could try to go in and find him. He was gone. He was all gone. It was like he had never been there in the first place, leaving behind nothing but his stupid earpiece. It was then and there I knew what I had to do. I had to save him.